Hey, this is Spanner for the Spanner Rig Show. Get ready for another big time episode. As you know, we are rolling through North Dakota athletes moving on to universities. So get your pen and paper out there and start writing them down so we can start tracking these kids at the next level. Because as I've told people, you've seen in my TikToks, I believe that North Dakota is full of ballers. #1 state for high school athletics. And here we go. Hey, we're here in the high school slash college, the recruiting section, a little feature we've been doing lately.
Absolutely.
These kids going off to college, and we want to talk about those, that whole process a little bit. We're here with Halle Dunlop from Century High School, and she has signed to shoot for Bismarck State College. Now, I've seen her resume, and you've seen her resume. So if Canada attacks.
Of course, they know you got to throw the Canadian little slight in it. Okay, all right.
No, if Russia or whoever attacks, I'm hiding behind her because she can shoot quite well, I think. So how you doing?
I'm not terrible. Just kind of kicking.
Just kind of kicking. I like that.
That's exciting. So, we get a lot of regular athletes, I like to say, or conventional athletes that play some of the standard sports, and we're excited to bring you on because you do something that's very unique. And we were talking a little bit about it off the air, but explain to us the different events that are tied to, in the shooting world, because it seems like when we were asking her, she was rambling off a whole bunch of these things, and I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. So explain to our viewers who are very unfamiliar with shooting events in particular, but explain to us what different ones there are and which ones you compete in.
Okay, so I'm an athlete for the North Dakota State High School shooting program. And basically there are lots of different disciplines that you can shoot. The most common one you shoot is trap. You'll have like a couple hundred kids shooting that one. It's very popular. But just last year we started up, we've been doing skeet, we've been doing 5-stand, sporting clays, the whole shebang of things. So lots of different disciplines that you can shoot, which is really exciting for different shooters.
Can you tell us the difference in the disciplines? Like trap and skeet and clay?
Are you running on any of these ones, or is it just strictly standard targets? Because I just think of like the cross-country skiing one.
The biathlon, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's cool. One of my favorite events in the Olympics.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
That's actually how sporting clays works, is you'll start at like one station, and then you'll like drive to another station, and you'll shoot like different birds that you've never seen before. You'll have about 5 shots per station. You'll shoot about 50 clays in one round, whereas all the other disciplines you'll shoot in intervals of 25. So like trap will be the simplest. You'll stand in with 5 other shooters. You'll shoot 5 targets and then just move to the next spot, shoot 5 targets. They're all going straight away from you. It's pretty easy. And then you got skeet. You shoot some crazy cross birds and stuff. I know lots of people like that a lot more than trap because it's more interesting. You'll have 5-stand, which is like sporting clays. You'll have a bunch of crazy shots, but you're not going to be moving around as much. You'll just have 5 stations that you'll shoot the shots from.
So how does it walk us through how the training aspect of this works? I mean, obviously, there's skill in terms of, your shots, but how do you prepare for each individual event? Because it just seems like there's a lot of moving, a lot of, processing and stuff like that. But how do you guys prepare for your events?
Well, each event is going to be somewhat different. It kind of depends who you talk to. Everyone has like kind of a different strategy of how they approach it. For me, it's just like you see it, you shoot it. That's just how you got to go about it. If you think about it too much, you're going to get everything mixed up, and then you're not going to be performing very well. So it just kind of comes down to you got to instill some good shooting habits, and then once you have those really rock solid, you just got to start muscle memory, doing those over and over.
So do you compete for Century when you're doing the shooting, or is it just all the athletes in North Dakota in a combined competition?
So they will go, the trap and everything else will be through the high school. So you'll have your team. You can also be individual, but like your team will be other students from Century, and you'll be competing against other schools in the same class. So like we'll have class A, class B, that type of stuff, just depending on the size of your school.
So explain now. I mean, obviously, one of the things that Spainer kind of highlighted is we like to certainly talk to athletes that are moving on to the next level. So walk us through the process of BSE and obviously the whole Bismarck connection and all that sort of thing. But explain to us what led you to want to continue at the next level at BSE.
Well, Bismarck State College actually has one of the best records for college shooting right now. I know Jenna Thompson.
That was my next question. Go ahead.
Jenna
Sorry.
Thompson, yeah, she won nationals. She won something. It was like a really big deal. I kind of forget what it is off the top of my head, but it was huge honors for the shooting team. The guys. I know lots of them are logging perfect scores regularly. BSC is like it's a big shooting name, especially since college is kind of a little bit behind high school. It was like introduced afterwards. So it's just kind of getting started, and just, Jenna and everybody else just kind of kickstarting it has put a really good name in for BSC. So I'm really proud to join that team.
So you play tennis also, and I had the opportunity to watch about 14 tennis matches this spring, and some of them were grueling. I mean, they go all the way to the third set, and I watched Halle girl from Minot against Mimi's little sister at Cheyenne, and it goes 3 sets, and then the first one's 7-5, and the next one's 7-5 the other way, or whatever. So they're both just running out of gas. So you've got to be decently fit, I would guess. Any thoughts of down the road, of trying to be an Olympian and doing the cross country biathlon? And you live in North Dakota. There's not a lot of cross country skiers in the United States. There's not a lot of states like North Dakota weather-wise. It seems like you'd have a leg up on most of the people.
It is a bit of a different shooting discipline. I know that's with rifles, where I shoot shotguns, so it would be a little bit different, but I suppose it'd be a cool thing to try. I've never really thought about it.
So my question is I gravitated to hockey. My old man played hockey. I'm assuming there must have been, your family or whatever. How do you, when you get focused on a certain sport, how did you get into this? Was like one of your parents into this, or was it just a natural fit from maybe being, hunters, and then, oh man, I got a really good shot, I should, do this competitively? But how does one get into this? Do you start at probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, or what's the age group? But yeah, how do you get into it, and what year did you start doing all this stuff?
Well, I started as a little kid because my dad's, big into guns. He was out at Capital City Sporting Clays, and so he just kind of dragged me along to the fun shoots, and then, every once in a while I'd shoot a gun. I got pretty interested. They do this program called the Young Guns, where they'll have a bunch of young children come out, and they'll teach them how to shoot guns, all that cool stuff, safety. Like, they'll teach you the safety aspect of things. That's how I really got into it. I kind of figured out I had a bit of a knack for shooting. And then I think in the 7th grade, you can start 6th or 7th grade, you can start shooting for the Missouri River Clay Target League, where you don't need any experience. You just need your hunter safety certification and basic understanding of how to load a gun. And there's like totally different levels. Like, there'll be people out there, shooting trap for the first time. They'll kind of sort you into groups, and they'll help you, kind of figure out how you're able to shoot and where your skill level is.
That's cool. Young Guns. It's one of my favorite movies. Emilio Estevez and Billy the Kid. You got Charlie Sheen and Kiefer Sutherland. That was a good
one.
Absolutely. That's pretty cool. So I would like you, and you have me and my assistant's phone number there, to let us know the next time you compete. I would like to watch that. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah. Do they do any broadcasting for this stuff? Like, that'd be really cool, or something on social media. That'd be kind of cool.
They don't do like a live camera type thing, just because it's so spread out and there's so many people going at the same time, just because of the amount of athletes that are competing in this event. It's really pretty cutthroat, and they're going throughout the entire day. So it would kind of be a bit impossible to broadcast. But there is I'll be shooting in the state tournament in Horace, I think next weekend, and there'll be an app where you can actually watch the live scores, get uploaded into the app, so you can kind of see where the standings are and stuff.
So how is it cutthroat? Can you shoot someone's target from your area so you can get their points, or how's that work?
called style points, but it's really frowned upon, so I wouldn't really try doing that. But
Oh boy.
what you do is there's with the shooters and trap, like everyone is really good. Like if you miss one, you're pretty much out of the competition. You shoot it in intervals of 25, you pretty much have to shoot a perfect score to win. So if you make one little mistake and you miss one bird, it might not seem like a big deal, but that's going to totally throw you off your game and you're not going to get anywhere.
Very interesting.
Wow, because I figured if I get 7 or something, that'd be a miracle.
Oh man, I'm a Canadian. I mean, how many times do we fire guns? Not very often.
You don't have to. You got the U.S. Marines protecting
Yeah,
you.
I know you do. We do, absolutely. So, just a little bit, again, we're asking questions from a bunch of amateurs here as we're very learning. I'm very fascinated. So, obviously in other sports like hockey, we have certain specific types of equipment, sticks and stuff that we get to be very finicky, and there's a variety of them. Tell us a little bit about it. I mean, is there a certain shotgun that you use? Is there certain stuff that just kind of fits your mold, or are you in the discipline? Is there kind of sponsors that kind of force you to kind of try to use their product more than other? But what do you use, and how do you decide on what you want to use?
Well, part of it is cost. Shooting is actually like a pretty expensive sport, just looking at, the price of shells, just because there's like a shortage on those. And I mean, if you want like a good gun, I know lots of people are really adamant on their type of gun. Like they'll buy a $10,000 gun for starters. I've never been that crazy into it because I think it doesn't really matter what equipment you use as long as you're comfortable with it. Like what I bought a rusty old gun from Minot actually, maybe $500. And I wrap a rubber band around the side so it's not shooting shells at everyone else. And I walk out there with my prescription glasses, baseball cap, and I shoot just fine. I mean, there'll be other people who need to shoot with their $10,000 brake gun and they need their special shooting glasses with the tint for the weather. It's never really been something that really caught my attention because I feel like I can do just fine with whatever I have on me, but it's kind of comes down to personal preference, really.
Wow. This is
I like that.
amazing.
I like that. I like that.
Jeez, yeah, be a marksman and like you said, that was like World War II. You get those snipers.
Yeah.
Those are big parts.
The movie
Saving
Enemy
Private
at the
Ryan.
Gates, that was a good one
yeah.
with Jude Law.
Yeah.
So hey, I got to ask you. You won a ton of championships. So when you're looking out there in North Dakota right now, you have a state tournament coming up. What's your chances of being a state champion, and who's your biggest competition?
Well, with, trap being so unpredictable, you can have like one bad day, you can miss one target, whereas someone else might have the best day of their life. Like that happened to me, I think my first year I ever shot a state tournament, I shot maybe 20 birds above my average because I was just having a crazy hot day. But I mean, there's lots of really, the Bismarck-Mandan area, we're pretty packed with some really good female shooters. So I think it could be any one of them that really take me out. My sister too, she's pretty like right on top of me with the competition. I think she beats me in skeet every once in a while, but anyone like a female from Bismarck, just because we just have such a good squad of women that are shooting.
Hopefully she means beat her in the score when she says take me out.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Well, my last question is what's the status of the sport as a whole? Have you seen more and more numbers, growing? I know like here in Minot, we've got a brand new indoor range, which I hear a lot of people are raving about, just kind of an opportunity to give those opportunities. It's kind of that field of dreams, you build it, they will come type of thing. And I feel like that's kind of seen. But have you seen numbers in kind of going up or decline? But what's the overall health of the sport?
Yeah, it's actually blowing up. Like it's getting crazy. Like I think we're adding like a crazy amount of schools to the whole high school league nationally. Like we have more and more states getting involved. It's getting really big. Like we have like a couple hundred shooters. We're actually having to put a cap limit on it just because there's so many people, interested in this sport. It's kind of something that anyone can do. So everyone's really kind of wanting to hop on it. So I think it's pretty much anything anyone can do. And it's really, really growing just because everyone's starting to see that, it's a lifelong sport. Like it's not like football where you get old and then suddenly you can't toss a ball or run around anymore. Like you can always stand on the line with a gun. I mean, regardless of your age. So I think it's got a really big appeal to the general masses.
Well, Halle, we really appreciate you coming on. This was like super enlightening.
Fascinating,
That's awesome,
absolutely.
awesome. And I hope, when your scholastic / collegiate career is over, you give back to the sport and maybe, take someone under your wing like your coaches and your dad did for you. But thanks for coming on.
We really appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, real quick, why does everyone in Bismarck hate the Patriots? What's the deal?
Yeah, I heard there's just a big hate on for them.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think part of it is we pretty much win everything, so everyone's just kind of getting sick of it.
Oh, boy.
I like that. I like that.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on. That was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, hey, here we are with the Beat Spainer Challenge, and we're going to pick it, the Bravera Workout Warrior of the Week. If you want to be the Bravera Workout Warrior of the Week, or you want to enter into the contest, make sure that you hashtag Bravera Workout Warrior. It's on all of my TikToks, and at Spainer and Riggs. And remember this, the top Class A school that posts the most gets $1,000 from Bravera for athletics facility renovations. The top Class B school also gets $1,000 for athletic facility renovations. The top male athlete that posts the most gets an interview with their best friend on the plane, on the Spainer plane. And the top female athlete that posts the most gets an interview with their best friend on the Spainer plane. So, let's rock. Hey, that was a great interview we had just had with Halle Dunlop. That was pretty awesome. A lot of little gun shooting action there. That's pretty cool.
We learned a lot for sure. Absolutely.
And she was telling us that everyone hates Sentry there. We'll have to ask Reece about that. She's a little, she's a demon there. A skilled, very skilled demon. So, but here we are with Reece Vorachek from the Bismarck Demons, and soon to be, we like to say Fighting Sue here.
Absolutely.
Soon to be Fighting Sue. Reece, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. So, is it outlawed there to say Sue, or you got to say Hawks, or or do some people just still Sue in their heart?
I know me and my buddies that are going up to UND, we still say Sue, but a lot of people tell us we should be saying Hawk, but we still say Sue.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's she's.
I just love how you're engaging in that, because you can't stand that school and that name. I mean, you're just Bison all the way. So
come on. I love Bison football. That doesn't mean I don't love Sioux hockey. I just think that Bison football is North Dakota's favorite team. That's just my opinion. And this is going to be a terrible answer. I already know it, but I'll ask it anyway. I got to be even.
Absolutely.
What is North Dakota's favorite team? Sioux hockey or Bison football? Or is it Sioux soccer? You tell us.
Sioux hockey all the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. So okay, so Reece, let's dig into this here. You went to Vegas with me when I was coaching the Minot girls, and that was quite a bit of maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But and then you moved on, and you switched over to the boys' side, and you played with Ricardo, the great Ricardo. I mean, he's an absolute amazing coach for the elite athlete, I would say.
Okay.
That there's some coaches are good for the middle, and some are for the good for the bottom, but Ricardo is one of the best I've seen for the elite.
Okay.
So we'll throw him a little bone there, but you were, I don't know what, the freakishly skilled at 10 when I first saw you. So tell me, who trained you at a young age?
So I played with Dakota United before I played with Magic, and Nate Oldness. I don't know if you know him, but
I know Nate. Yeah, he's very good.
He was very good in coaching me at a young age, but I think I wasn't as good until I came with Ricardo. Ricardo really, helped me with skills training a lot. But I would credit those two with my development at a young age.
No, that's really cool. Now, I mean, obviously, Spainer's talked a little bit about your successes at the high school level, and one of the things that we've been kind of a theme that people realize about, some of our interviews is just talking about getting to the next level. So just walk us through, talk a little bit about why you picked UND, especially when you're dealing with a Division I school. There's chances are there have been either some above or horizontal, but definitely some schools below, that would have definitely, recruited you. But just explain to us what led you to UND.
So both my parents, they went to UND. My uncles, my aunts, my cousins, my grandparents, they've all gone to UND. Like everybody in my family has gone there. So that was definitely a factor in me deciding it. But when at the state tournament last year, Chris saw me play and he really liked how I played. So he reached out to Michelle, who was my high school coach, and asked me to come to his camp, which I came to. And then he asked me to be part of his program. And when I was on campus there, I just really liked the girls. They were all super nice. And it just seemed like a family there. And obviously I wanted to play at like the highest level I could. And that's D1. So I just, I fell in love with the place and it felt right.
Man, you're playing for a super good dude. I mean, he is just such a great person.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty awesome for you. I hope that translates into an amazing student athlete experience. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Chris seemed like a super nice coach. And I like the way he coaches. He said he's not afraid if I dribble. He allows me to dribble and, lets me be creative with it.
And dribble she can very well. So, state tournament didn't go kind of the way you wanted, but you guys got Bismarck in there. Tell us a little bit about it. You guys were kind of 2-0. You kind of got unlucky with the Mandan upset of Davies, and they were kind of ticked off the next day there up against you.
Yeah, so we played Shanley the first game, and they're a good team. We went 0-0 the whole regular game, and then we went into overtime. Both halves still 0-0, and then we went into PK shootout. Just got unlucky, went 3-1 with the shootout, and then played Davies second game, which they were the number 1 seed coming out of the East, and they were a very, very talented team. They just all knew how to pass very well, and I think we were all a little tired from the night before with that long game.
Yeah, double overtime will take it out of you.
Right.
No, I got just an off-topic question. Vorachek, there's a famous, I don't know if Jonathan can pull this up, but there's a famous NHL player, Vorachek, and he's from the Czech Republic or Slovakia. Do you have ties to family over there, or is it just a one-up, Jacob? Yeah. Where is he from?
I think,
Czech Republic. Yeah, it's Czech. They call it Czechia now, but it used to be called Czech Republic. But I mean, like I said, it's obviously a lot of our names came from places over in Europe. But I just didn't know, do you have family? That's a pretty rare name for sure.
I don't know if we have any family specifically out there, but I know our last name is Czech. So
Okay, cool. I learn something every day. Like I said, it's didn't know if there was a direct tie or not. Hockey, of course. Anything I see hockey related, I'm gonna pick it off for sure. But
Yeah.
no.
So you've been basically for all intents and purposes, a one sport athlete, and we've had a lot of kids on here and talk about the benefits of three sports, but she's going Division One.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that. Did you want to play other sports, or were you just fully dedicated to soccer? You love soccer, and how's that come about?
So in middle school, I played basketball as well. And I played basketball in elementary school, and then I also did track and cross country. And then I did cross country my freshman year of high school, but then I decided to just stick with soccer after freshman year, just because that was the sport I was best at. But I was decent at cross country. I know I was all state my 8th grade year. I got moved up to the high school, and I placed, I think, 19th in the state for cross country. So I played a few other sports, but soccer is definitely the one I wanted to stick with. And I think only doing soccer my last 3 years of high school definitely just helped me get to the next level.
I will say this though. I know from a hockey standpoint, but soccer too are probably the two most organized sports for in the off season. Like in soccer, you have outdoor, then you could transition to indoor. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of a difference in terms of that stuff. In the hockey world, spring hockey is really kind of taken off. Like there's just more tournaments, and you're not tied to your high school team. You now could be, they call it club, but essentially you could join forces with some kids in Canada and stuff. So it is something. I'm assuming you played indoor and outdoor. So like you said, with your team in Vegas, that was an indoor tournament, correct?
Outdoor.
Oh, really? Oh boy.
Yeah, no, we went out there, players showcase in March.
Wow.
And it was I thought we did quite well. It was all, amazing teams from all over the country there, so that was good.
My last question is we've kind of, Spainers really kind of dove into a little bit, but is it like Bismarck High and Legacy are kind of joining forces and just they can't stand Century? Like everybody just can't say everybody hates the Patriots. Like, is that just rumor hearsay, or is there some actual like teeth to that just everybody collectively just doesn't like Century?
I know that's how it is at BHS. No one can stand the Patriots. They just, they're always winning, and it's just annoying to hear.
Always winning. Oh boy, that's all you.
So last one from me, and I think this was really interesting. So you switched from the girls' side to the boys' side, and I'm gonna dig a little deeper in that. But I want you to tell us just maybe on a general level. Do you think it helped you get to Division One, to get to college? Was it good? But as a soccer coach, I'm gonna ask it a second part, a little deeper. Did it take any of your courage away in taking players on, because boys are so much quicker and stronger? Did it hurt that your ability to go at players and try to dribble them? Did you start passing more, and has that translated into the girls' game, or did it make you a much tighter dribbler, which translates to the girls' game and even be better? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think playing with the boys, it just showed me I wasn't able to, dribble past them as easily. So it just made me like a smarter player, more just like, instead of looking to dribble every time, I look to pass it or find a through ball. So I think I wouldn't say took my courage away, but just made me smarter.
You're seeing it in the hockey world, especially like at the younger ages. Like I think mine at High's AA Pee-wee team, which is the highest Pee-wee level, their number one goalie was a girl. It was just one of those things for her, especially early on, because at their point in hockey, it's not as structured until you get to like 7th, 8th grade, and then of course you have high school stuff too. So, but it certainly only only good for the elite athletes that can do that. So clearly she's elite enough to be able to put, you know.
Summit League. Did NDSU recruit you at all?
No, they didn't.
So is that going to give you any teeth when that rivalry hits?
Yeah, it's definitely going to give me some motivation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's because NDSU's football team's a little Class B to the Class A of Sioux hockey, so you know that works, Painter.
I like that. I will tell you this. I root for the Sioux in women's soccer there, but I do root for both though in general.
He's the guy that wears like the NFL ref logo, like Rob Lowe does. He just wants everybody to win. Hey, everybody wins. That's Painter.
He just hates on all the small schools.
Oh, absolutely. Well, she's a Class A girl. We got to get the Class A athletes, right? So.
Holy moly!
But hey, Reece, we really appreciate it. This is really good. We kind of like to, you know, dive in a little bit about some soccer world and how that translates. But we really appreciate you definitely coming on.
And I love it. North Dakota kid going to University of North Dakota, the state name. I wish you luck. I loved you coming to play for me when you did. I think that was really cool. And that's no plug to me. I mean, she was baller before she met me and got even more baller when she met Ricardo. Had nothing to do with me, but I just appreciate you helping us out and, you know, playing with those Minot girls. You know, were you rooting for Minot in the state championship, or how's that work?
I don't know. It would have been nice to see someone else win. Not gonna lie.
Absolutely. Well, hey, like you think about it, could you imagine if Bismarck, you know, made one collective team? What a powerhouse that would be, you know? So that's Mountain High right now, just one team. So
yeah,
split them up, and then we'll see how things are.
I don't know that all of Bismarck could beat Minot right now.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I think next year though, with all those seniors at Minot, all of Bismarck could beat them. But
well, good.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Reece.
coming on.
Another fantastic episode here on the Spain and Riggs podcast. We got dived into some high school sports and, of course, talked a little college. Next week's going to be super exciting. We got a great couple interviews that you're not going to want to miss. We're also going to have to make sure we keep track of him as he's been blowing it up on TikTok. So next time, stay tuned for our next episode of the Spain and Riggs podcast brought to you by the Dakotan.